this video, I'm going to show you guys how to get powerful double strokes on the toms. And also, if you dig this video, please like, subscribe, and check out my book, Tactical Drumming Guru Survival Guide. Put a link for that in the description, along with a link to my website, which has lots of different drumming resources. All right, so let's talk about getting powerful doubles. And I would actually say one of the things I see a lot of my students struggle with is actually getting big double strokes on the toms themselves. And part of it is because obviously the toms give quite a bit more than other drums, especially if you're playing on like a floor tom, like a 16 or something like that. But you can play big double strokes, no problem, with a little bit of work. What I'm gonna do a lot of my students is I actually have them work on getting power in their double strokes, especially when they're playing like on the floor tom, which requires a lot of technique to really get a powerful stroke. So what I'm doing really basically is in my stroke, and this is what I want to kind of show you guys, is in order to get that powerful double stroke, I use a little bit of technique where I'm actually using my fingers to get really that second note to come out. And the approach that I like to use is, all right, so what I do is I have my students play with this technique, right? So the fulcrum occurs here between the thumb and the pointer finger, so right here, right? And I have them kind of put their hands out to the side. I jokingly call these the butterflies. But basically I'm grabbing that right there, and I'm gonna take the stick, and if I play it just on the hi-hat, I just drop it. Right, but I'm letting these fingers just kind of hang out. Same thing on the left hand. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently wrap those fingers around it. And then those fingers are going to basically be used to support the second stroke. So now what I do, instead of just dropping it, I'm going to isolate 2 beats. But you'll notice my wrist is only doing 1 stroke. And I'm actually supporting it, like I said, with the fingers underneath. You can see I'm kind of pushing up a little bit with the stick. Same thing with the left, right? And so now when I put that on like a hi-hat or something, or which has a lot of bounce, right? You'll notice again, I'm just going like this, and then I'm playing 2 strokes for each one, right? Put on the snare drum. A good exercise to do is just to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and doubles. And do that over and over and over again. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that same exercise, something like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it now on the floor tom. And the reason I use the floor tom, regardless of the size, right, whether it be a small floor tom like this is actually really small, right, or a big 16, you can do the same exact thing, and that is just sitting there, and I'm trying to really pull out that second note. Right, so right, and then all I'm going to do is take that same type of exercise and speed it up. Again, a little faster. Faster. Now, I do want to show you one more exercise that I love to use, and that is, well, you can actually use 2 different ones. One is just think almost like a shuffle, right? If I'm playing this rhythm, a shuffle. That's the exact technique that I'm going to use. You notice when I'm playing that shuffle, I try to kind of push that second note. If I take that, the shuffle pattern is I'm playing double strokes. Now I can take that same pattern, right, and I could use that as a way to also develop my chops. Another exercise I really love is called ABC, but if we just play the A section, it goes like this. Using that rhythm, I'm not really even thinking about it, I'm just playing that rhythm. But I'm using perfect technique when I'm doing that. So if you take an exercise like that, that'll help you develop it. Now the last thing is, how do you get creative with this, right? So now what you're going to do is you're going to mix up. Obviously just playing this, that's not very interesting, right? But if I play something like something interesting with a little bit of technical variety, it can get pretty intricate, right? And so being able to play those double strokes, and a lot of people use single strokes, but being able to play double strokes on the toms give you something unique, very beneficial, and obviously is a real test of your chops. I'm going to play one more thing out for you. So a couple things just from the basics. Number one, technique is everything. Just drop that note, right, using that good fulcrum. Then wrap your fingers gently around, isolate 2 beats. Then play like an exercise on the toms, like a shuffle. Then play like a long exercise using those eighths. Remember, focusing on that wrist movement, right? Like this. And then start experimenting with it. I'm going to play one more groove for you on the way out.